Thank you. And John, let's say you were dictator for the day.
It's not scary at all. Go on.
What would you pass or do to reduce the risk, if you think that's possible, of destabilising disinformation and deepfakes?
So I don't claim to have the entire answer, but I had a couple of goes in the to table some amendments to the Online Safety Act when it's going through Parliament. I think there are two things we need to worry about in broad terms. One is stuff which is just factually inaccurate. And there's quite a lot you can do, but I think I recognise that the technical solutions are not perfect yet for spotting provenance, so you can see where something came from, who's altered it on the way, and so therefore you can start to work out whether or not it's likely to be true. It's also possible you might want to start in the same way as we have trust scores for people who you transact with on eBay and everything else. You might also want to say how likely is it that Penrose routinely tells fibs or tells the truth, and you could sort of start to develop a good reputation that way. Dangerous though, you've got to be very careful about how that's done. That could be badly misused. And then the other thing is we already have some things in the analogue world for broadcasters. We've had for years and years and years something called the duty of truth and duty of balance and undue prominence, which basically says if you're listening to the news on BBC, radio or TV, or Sky or wherever it might be, if someone's putting one side of the argument, they've got to put the other side as well. That doesn't apply online to your filter bubble and mine. In fact, it works in the opposite direction. You get fed more and more of whatever it is you've chosen, and that means you can rapidly head down radicalizing or echo chamber type rabbit holes. And I think that perhaps trying to find some way of creating a digital online version of that existing tried and tested, rather effective old economy, old tech duty of balance and undue prominence for the filter bubbles might be a really, really effective way of trying to reforge the consensus rather than pushing everybody to extremes. So those would be my two starting points, maybe 2.5 starting points. I'm not sure that's the full answer, and there's an awful lot of really clever technical people in this room who can probably improve on that, but that would, I think, get us going at least.